good morning. Or is it, if you're over 70, the way you start your day can have a bigger impact on your health than you might think. Some morning habits seem harmless, just part of your routine. But in reality, they could be silently harming your body, leading to fatigue, dizziness, or even increasing your risk of serious health problems. Before we dive in, let me ask you, where are you watching from? Drop your city or country in the comments. I love seeing where our viewers are from. And if you haven't already, hit that like button and subscribe. It really helps the channel grow and keeps you updated on all our health tips. Now, let's talk about the first dangerous mistake many people over 70 make in the morning. And to show you just how serious it can be, let me tell you a story about Richard. The story of Richard, a wake-up call. Richard was 72 years old and prided himself on his independence. Every morning, he'd wake up and get out of bed quickly, eager to start his day. But one morning, something changed. He swung his legs over the side of the bed, stood up, and suddenly, everything went black. The next thing he knew, he was on the floor. His wife, Linda, heard the thud and ran in. Richard had fainted. She helped him sit up, and after a few minutes, he felt better. But the scare was real. What had just happened? The answer? Postural hypotension. This is a sudden drop in blood pressure that happens when you stand up too fast. It's incredibly common in older adults. Your body needs a few moments to adjust from lying down to standing. If you rush, your brain might not get enough blood, leading to dizziness or even fainting, just like what happened to Richard. Why this happens more after 70 as you age, your body's ability to regulate blood pressure slows down. Your blood vessels aren't as flexible, and your heart takes longer to respond to sudden position changes. This means that when you stand up too quickly, your blood pressure can drop dramatically, leaving you feeling lightheaded or weak. And the worst part? Many seniors ignore these dizzy spells until one day they fall and end up in the hospital with a broken hip or worse. How to prevent this morning mistake? The good news: you can easily prevent this from happening. Here's what you should do every morning. Wake up slowly. When you open your eyes, don't jump out of bed right away. Take a moment to stretch. Wiggle your fingers and toes to get your blood flowing. Sit up gradually. Instead of swinging your legs over the bed immediately, roll onto your side first. Then push yourself up into a sitting position. Stay seated for 30 seconds. Let your body adjust before standing up. Take deep breaths. If you feel fine, move to the next step. Stand up carefully. Use a chair or bed frame for support if needed. Once standing, pause for another 10-15 seconds before taking your first step. These simple changes could save you from a dangerous fall. Richard learned his lesson that day. Now he follows this routine every morning, and he hasn't had another dizzy spell since. Are you making this mistake? Have you ever felt lightheaded when getting out of bed? If so, drop a yes in the comments. If not, type no, but keep these tips in mind. Imagine this. You wake up, shuffle into the kitchen, pour yourself a cup of coffee, and grab something quick to eat, maybe a piece of toast or a bowl of cereal. It's what you've been doing for years, and it seems harmless. But what if I told you that this simple morning habit could be making you feel sluggish, weak, and even increasing your risk of serious health problems? This is exactly what happened to Nancy, a 74-year-old woman who thought she was starting her mornings the right way. Every day, she'd wake up, make herself a cup of black coffee, and have a slice of toast with jam. It was light, easy, and she never felt too full. But as the weeks went by, she started feeling constantly tired. By mid-morning, she felt weak, dizzy, and sometimes even a little shaky. At first, she thought it was just part of aging. But when she mentioned it to her doctor, he immediately asked about her breakfast. And that's when she learned she was making a huge mistake. Why your breakfast choice matters more than you think as you age. Your body doesn't process food the same way it used to. Your metabolism slows down, your ability to absorb nutrients declines, and your blood sugar becomes more sensitive. The wrong breakfast can set off a chain reaction that leaves you feeling exhausted before the day even begins. Here's what was happening to Nancy. 1. Too much sugar. Not enough protein. Toast and jam might seem like a simple breakfast, but it's mostly carbohydrates and sugar. Without enough protein or healthy fats, this kind of meal causes blood sugar to spike and then crash, leading to fatigue and hunger just a couple of hours later. 2. Skipping protein leads to muscle loss. After 70, muscle loss accelerates if you don't get enough protein. When you start your day without a good source of protein, your body struggles to maintain muscle strength, making you weaker over time. 3. Caffeine on an empty stomach. A bad idea. Nancy's black coffee gave her an initial boost, but because she drank it on an empty stomach, it actually caused her blood sugar to drop even faster. This led to dizziness, jitteriness, and low energy later in the morning. The right way to start your morning. If you've been relying on toast, cereal, or just coffee in the morning, it's time for a change. Here's how to build a breakfast that gives you lasting energy and protects your health. Prioritize protein. Eggs, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, or a protein smoothie can help keep your energy stable and maintain muscle strength. Add healthy fats. A handful of nuts, avocado, or a little olive oil can help keep you full longer. Limit sugar and processed carbs. Swap sugary cereals and white bread for whole grains like oatmeal or whole wheat toast. Drink water first instead of coffee first thing. Start with a glass of water to rehydrate your body after a long night's sleep. Nancy took her doctor's advice and made one simple change. She swapped her toast and jam for a scrambled egg with a slice of whole wheat toast and added a handful of almonds on the side. Within a week, she felt more energized and no longer experienced the mid-morning crashes. What's the first thing you do after waking up? For many people, it's reaching for a cup of coffee or tea. Some even go straight into their daily routine without drinking anything at all. But here's the truth. If you're over 70 and not hydrating properly first thing in the morning, you could be putting your health at serious risk. This is exactly what happened to George, a 76-year-old retired teacher. Every morning, he'd wake up, have a quick breakfast, and then enjoy his coffee while reading the newspaper. He rarely drank water in the morning, figuring his coffee was enough. But over time, he started experiencing headaches, dizziness, and occasional brain fog. At first, he thought it was just part of getting older. Then, one hot summer day, he stood up too quickly, felt dizzy, and nearly collapsed. His doctor told him something shocking. His symptoms weren't just due to age. They were caused by chronic dehydration. Why morning hydration is critical after 70 as you age. Your body's ability to retain water decreases. This means that when you wake up, you're already slightly dehydrated, even if you don't feel thirsty. Overnight, your body loses fluids through breathing and sweating, and if you don't replenish them first thing in the morning, it can lead to serious health problems. Here's what happens when you don't hydrate properly in the morning. 1. Increased risk of falls and dizziness. Dehydration lowers blood pressure, making it more likely that you'll feel lightheaded or unsteady when you stand up. This can lead to falls, which are one of the biggest dangers for seniors. 2. Slower brain function. Even mild dehydration can cause confusion, brain fog, and slower reaction times. Studies show that older adults who don't drink enough water are at higher risk of cognitive decline. 3. Strain on the heart and kidneys. Without enough fluids, your blood becomes thicker, making it harder for your heart to pump and for your kidneys to filter toxins. This increases the risk of heart disease and kidney problems over time. 4. Digestive problems and constipation. Water is essential for digestion. Without it, food moves more slowly through your system, leading to constipation, a common issue for people over 70. How to hydrate the right way if you're not in the habit of drinking water first thing in the morning. Now is the time to start. Here's what you should do. Drink a glass of water before anything else. Before coffee, tea, or breakfast, drink at least 1 glass of water to help rehydrate your body. Add lemon or electrolytes if needed. A squeeze of lemon or a pinch of sea salt can help balance electrolytes and make hydration more effective. Sip throughout the morning. Don't just drink all at once. Keep a water bottle nearby and take small sips regularly. Avoid too much coffee or tea. First thing, caffeinated drinks can act as diuretics, making you lose more fluids. Try to have water before your first cup of coffee. After George started drinking a glass of water first thing in the morning, his dizziness and headaches disappeared. He also noticed that he felt more awake and alert throughout the day. It was such a simple fix, but it made a world of difference. Most people don't think much about their morning routine. They wake up, go about their day, and assume that if they're feeling okay, they must be doing things right. But for those over 70, a small mistake in the morning can put unnecessary strain on the heart, leading to fatigue, high blood pressure, and even increasing the risk of heart attacks or strokes. That's exactly what happened to Henry, a 75-year-old retired mechanic. Henry was always a strong, active man, but in recent months, he started feeling strangely tired by noon. He brushed it off at first, blaming it on aging. But one day, while getting ready for his morning walk, he suddenly felt his heart racing. He sat down, breathing heavily, and felt a tightness in his chest. Alarmed, his wife rushed him to the doctor. After some tests, the doctor asked Henry about his morning habits. Henry was surprised when the doctor pointed out one simple mistake he had been making for years, skipping a proper warm-up before morning exercise. Why exercising without a warm-up can be dangerous. Exercise is one of the best things you can do for your heart, but jumping straight into physical activity without preparing your body can be dangerous, especially for older adults. Here's why. 1. A sudden heart rate spike. After 70, your heart doesn't respond as quickly to sudden changes in activity. If you go from a resting state to intense movement too fast, like stepping outside for a brisk walk right after waking up, your heart rate can jump suddenly, increasing strain on your cardiovascular system. 2. Increased risk of blood pressure spikes. When you start moving suddenly, your blood vessels need time to adjust. If they don't, your blood pressure can rise quickly, which can lead to dizziness, shortness of breath, or even chest pain. 3. Stiff muscles and joints. After hours of sleep, your muscles and joints are stiff. Without a proper warm-up, you are at higher risk of pulling a muscle or even falling due to reduced flexibility. 4. Reduced oxygen flow to the heart. Your body needs a few minutes to gradually increase blood flow to the heart and muscles. If you skip this step, you might feel out of breath or fatigued sooner than expected. The right way to prepare your body in the morning, Henry's doctor gave him a simple solution, a 5-minute warm-up routine before any morning physical activity. Here's what you can do, too. Start with gentle movements before getting out of bed. Stretch your arms and legs. Rotate your ankles and wrists to wake up your joints. Do seated warm-ups. Sit on the edge of your bed and do slow shoulder rolls, gentle neck stretches, and a few deep breaths. Stand up and march in place before heading out for a walk. Stand up and march in place for a minute to slowly increase circulation. Stretch before exercise. If you're planning a morning walk or workout, take a few minutes to stretch your legs, back, and shoulders to prevent injuries. After following this warm-up routine for a week, Henry noticed a huge difference. He no longer felt his heart racing suddenly, and he had more energy throughout the day. Are you exercising the right way? Do you warm up before your morning activities, or do you start moving right away? Let me know in the comments. If you're guilty of skipping this step, now is the time to make a change. And if you found this helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe. Your support helps us continue bringing you life-saving health tips. That wraps up the 4 most dangerous morning mistakes that people over 70 often make. Now that you know them, take action today. Your body will thank you for it. Stay healthy, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video.